Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how I put together this sheath with this croc inlay. It's quite a thick welt, which is, an interesting thing to try and sew, but I'll show you a few things that'll make it clear how it's put together. And this is the knife itself, which I made, but that's nothing to do with this video. So let's check out the sheath. Alright, it's made out of 3mm thick veg tan, and yeah, croc for the inlay. The back piece is folded inwards with the strap, and it's recessed and skived down, so the knife doesn't rub on it too much. And as you can see here, I've laid out the window so I can line up the croc, which was a bit of a challenge because there's some weird shapes going on there. But I think this one works with what I had. And now I've got the inlay with the underlay skived down as best I can to get a little bit of a profile to it. Once it's all clamped and stitched up, so it's not just flat or sunken, hopefully it rises up a bit. And this is ready to be glued. And I've pressed it just with foam on the top side and a hard backing underneath, so we just get that contour on the top and a little bit of plastic to protect everything. And I was a little bit sad because, as you can see, the very top is tweaked over there to the left. It didn't quite line up perfectly in the window, but you know what, you get that on these big jobs. It's only my first inlay, so yeah, next one will be better. But overall, can't really complain. Pretty happy with that one. And now it's time to stitch it. I did sand down the plates so they're a bit thinner. But yeah, I had to smash through them with those Japanese style pricking irons, and then to really open them up so I could actually stitch them, I had to push through with a needle in a drill press. Having it rotate makes it slide through a bit easier, and a little bit of WD-40 makes it slide through easier as well. And then once it's stitched, obviously you got to recess the back as well so the knife doesn't catch it, and a little bit of wood glue on the back of the stitching to hold it all in place. Should never move, but we've gone backwards here. This clip's a little bit out of order, but as you can see, it's recessed. And then same thing, hard backing on the back, foam on the front, glued the whole thing together. I'm starting to realize here that it's extremely thick on the front and thin on the back, which will affect how the knife sits. And yeah, to stitch it all correctly, you want a template to line up the stitching holes. So when you trim it, you're trimming it after it's been stitched, so you can burnish it without the burnish changing. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but that's how I was taught. Stitch, trim, and then burnish. If you trim, stitch, and then burnish, you're opening yourself up for movement and a bad burnish. But as you can see, this it's all fully stitched now, ready to be trimmed. Oh, there we go, all trimmed. And it just needs to be sanded and then burnished. And this is it. It's all been sanded now, and yeah, a good sander makes a difference here. And now it's pretty much done. Burnished just with PVA and water, and a little slicker to slick it all down. But yeah, overall I was really happy with the result on this. Thanks for Martin at Carswell Leather for the instructions. And oh, that's the wrong way, but yeah, as you can see, it holds the knife nicely. The blade doesn't rub on the leather with this design. The weld is thick enough that it's all very stiff, so it helps protect it and hold everything in place. And now I'll show you a couple of little photos at the end.